So one of my writing clients said something really profound today that I wanted to make sure to encourage you with. Number one, she says that she utilizes certain days of the week as her writing days. Now, she is a very, very busy business professional and has clients of her own. So writing, carving out time to actually sit down and commit to her book amidst a super busy schedule. I mean, it's not easy. However, if this is a goal that you want to reach, well, then you'll have to set aside the time in order to do it. So she commits to 2 days during certain periods of time during that day to focus on her book. And she says, hey, no matter what, I know on this day and on that day, it is time for me to start working on my book. It made me look back and think back on when I first started writing my book. So what was some of the strategies I used that worked for me? And I do believe that was one of them. I was also very dedicated and very committed. So I knew that I wanted to see my book finished. I wanted to hit that huge milestone of actually completing a manuscript. And this is before even deciding to want to pitch it to publishers or before I decided to self-publish. I at least needed to have a book finished. And I knew the only way I was going to do that was to create a goal. So I'm sure I did something very similar to what she did by choosing a couple of days of the week to write, but I'm also sure I had a goal of a word count I wanted to hit every day. So I would look at the word count in my Word document every day just to make sure that if I added 2,000 more words, that this is what the number would be, and that's what I went for. So that's another strategy that you can adopt. Okay, you can pick days of the week, 1 or 2 or more if you can, that are the most feasible, right? The days that you can squeeze in a few, I want to say a few minutes, but I mean, realistically, I mean at least an hour. If you can dedicate at least 30 minutes to an hour into your book on specific days of the week, then you can get some really good progress made. I feel the very same way about setting a word count. That worked for me because I wanted to see more words on my paper. And so my focus was on that. I wanted to see a lot more content down, so I would race to write more. And sometimes I moved my word count up. So I would start off with like 2,000 words, and then I would push that thing up to 5,000 words a week because that was my goal, and that's what I wanted to hit. And while it's really great to have really big goals like that, to have something that you can measure that ensures that you are working towards your goal of having your completed book, I also want you to not apply pressure, okay? Because I know life is hard and life is challenging and very unpredictable sometimes. So commit to writing something as often as you can. Realistically look at your schedule to decide what's going to be the really best time and space for me to do this, and then start writing. The more content you get down, the closer you are to reaching your goal of having your finished book. It really is that simple, but life is hard sometimes, right? But we can do hard things, right? So just keep that in mind.